Well, I'm going to go into an area now that everybody struggles with. It's when you miss a ball and you can't figure out why you're missing the ball. I can kind of explain that mentally. It's basically most of the people miss balls because they're not missing balls. Now, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but let me kind of get into that here by showing you what's on the table. I've got a 4-ball sitting for the corner pocket, and I've got the cue ball over here within about a foot of the rail. Now, for years and years and years, I used to shoot that shot in the corner, and I would miss that, actually literally leave it on the table about 80% of the time. So I would drive it into the rail, I would drive it, overcut it, but it would never seem to find its way to the pocket. So I discovered something interesting about when you start shooting a shot over and over and over again and you keep missing that shot, you're not missing that shot to the brain. For an example, if you go to England, they drive on the left side of the road. And the reason they drive on the left side of the road is because that's all they ever do. So they actually consider that the right thing to do. So I actually humorously will say that they drive on the left side of the road because it's the right thing to do. Now, if you come to America and we drive on the right side of the road, people will say, well, yeah, it's the right thing to do for us, but actually it's all that's left. That's kind of the humorous part. That's the reason we drive on the right side of the road. So it basically depends upon your perception of what you're seeing. So in the particular case of what you've got on the table here, when I keep shooting that shot into that corner pocket, and I keep missing it, literally, I'm actually start to drive on the left side of the road, and I don't know how to change that because that's all I ever show myself. So I discovered that an easy way to deprogram this miss, which is actually a make in disguise into the brain, I move this ball closer like this to where the angle is relatively the same, and I shoot this shot 10 times in the corner, and I can make it about 90% of the time. Then I move this back 2 inches, and I make it 9 out of 10 times. Then I move it back 2 inches and make it 9 out of 10 times. And I keep doing that in 2-inch increments. And as I keep moving this ball back, I start to deprogram the left side of the road into the right side of the road. In other words, whatever I'm used to seeing that we don't like, I can deprogram that dislike into something I like by simply doing it repetitiously the way we want it to be done. So if I keep setting a shot up and I keep making that shot literally, I'm going to be happy with that. So the obvious way to solve a situation when you're missing a shot that seems to be going into the rail, you've got to deprogram that concept of the ball staying on the table. So the way you do is you shorten it up, you shoot it repetitiously 9 out of 10 times, you keep moving it back shorter. You can do this on any shot. Do it on bank shots, cut shots, any kind of shot. Keep shortening it up, then make it longer, 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 and eventually you'll make the shot from where you were missing it originally. And you've actually changed the side of the road you're driving on. So I wanted to share this with you because so many people struggle with shots they're missing when in essence they're simply making a shot in disguise, but they don't realize it by actually leaving it on the table. It's kind of a mental tip. It's a mental thing that we have to come in touch with, and we've got to address this issue because we want to stop missing those balls. So I wanted to share this with you. Enjoy this concept. Use the mental training I've given you, these tips, and I hope you've enjoyed in particular this CSI instructional tip.